Hello there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the SidNotTheSloths channel. And today, for the first time, we are here with the interview with a man some of you may know, some of you may not know. But I believe he has one of the best underdog stories in this whole YouTube boxing scene. So, everybody, let's welcome Aslan 301 to the show. Welcome, buddy.
Hey yo, how you doing?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to have you here. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm happy to be on this channel, man.
Nice.
It's
Yes.
my first interviews, man. I'm getting some interviews now.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you, is this your first interview? So it is. Okay,
It's
that's
my
cool. Oh,
second.
okay. Nice, nice. That's good to hear. So, what really made you start this journey of, let's say, like you said, you want to fight on misfits. Like, what put this into your mind? Let's say.
Look, at the start, it wasn't even about misfits. I think I
Hmm.
did football content or
Okay.
soccer, and I did, you know, these kind of videos like how to train like Goku or how to
Yeah,
train
yeah,
like
yeah, I've seen
I
those.
don't
Yeah.
know some movie character or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I knew, okay, Misfits are doing an event in Berlin. Then I started to focus on this. So I think if I didn't know about Misfits in Berlin, it would have been a completely different
Completely different. Oh
channel
shit.
now.
So
Yeah,
if Misfits didn't release the calendar of the whole year, you might not have been doing this.
yeah. But I think like I want to bring this back. This whole why I started generally,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
true.
talking about YouTube boxing gets a bit boring now. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Even like the big time fighters now, their channels, if they do upload, it's only YouTube boxing. It is
Yeah.
kind of monotonous. That's true. That's true. Okay, so like how big is the scene in Germany? Like, are people there aware of the YouTube boxing? Anything a little bit?
Look, about the UK, like they know Jake, they know KSI or maybe Logan,
Mm-hmm.
but they see them as like okay, he's a YouTuber, nobody cares. But
Yeah.
there been some YouTube boxing fights in Germany, like I don't know the names, maybe you know Upper Red,
Not
KS3,
really, but I did hear
probably.
that there is some going on in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, there've been a couple of fights, but they're only Germany knows about it, I think.
Okay.
But they have been big.
Okay,
I'm
so
not a
people
big
people
fan
in
of the
Germany.
German YouTube scene in general, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't really follow it. Maybe if there's a fight, I watch it, but I always watched UK YouTube and USA YouTube.
Okay, so speaking of boxing events in Germany, you had one even before this, right? Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
that?
So yeah, it was like an amateur boxing event. So I first went to the gym. Like I trained at home
Mm-hmm.
for a couple of months.
Yep.
Then I came to the gym. The coach asked me, "Okay, you're a bit like advanced, not like a complete beginner."
Yeah.
Then he gave me a bit of training, like 2 or 3 months,
Okay,
and
okay.
then there was one guy there, like I don't know how to say it, like always also a beginner,
Okay.
and he said to me, "Okay, let's have you fight."
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I think he was before, yeah, he was before there, so before me.
Mm-hmm.
Then this all came about. It was a bit chaotic. It
Oh
was
yeah.
like short notice and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it sounds a bit short notice. Yeah. Like, it was all really
And
fast. Yeah.
and yeah, I got into that fight, and I think like looking back at it, I shouldn't have gotten like
Okay.
this was too early for me. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning. I see how many like if I watch the fight back, I see how many mistakes I made.
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, it does sound like it was a bit early, but I mean, it's like it's experience because even though you didn't get what you wanted, you will still learn some things from that, which will hopefully help you
For sure,
in
for sure.
journey.
Like this feeling, I will never forget this feeling. Like before you walk out, before because it wasn't like a small like event where nobody's there in
Mm-hmm.
the audience. It was like a packed. I don't know if you watched it. Like there were some people watching,
Oh, okay. So you
and
had a good audience over there.
yeah, there was like a walkout and stuff.
Jeez.
So
Okay.
that was
That's
cool. But
that's pretty cool.
you get used to it. Like first time walking out, I never feel something like this in my life, man. Like I was scared.
Nah, that's fair. A walkout is a pretty scary thing. If looking at it from outside, it looks scary. Yeah, must have been a bit intimidating. But hey, you have that experience now. So speaking of
Yeah,
boxing training, like how long would you say exactly have you been training like at a gym with a coach or other
in the
boxers?
gym.
Yeah.
So under boxers in the gym, I feel like 5 months, 6 months,
Okay, so
around about that.
you already have 5 to 6 months, and by the time the card comes around, it'll be around 7 or 8, which I'd say is comparable to most of the fighters in the scene, especially the
Yep.
main event guys. They get around that much time. So let's talk about misfits. How do you feel about the misfits 07? We have a big card coming. How do you feel about that main event, KSI versus
Yo,
Fournier?
main event, I always like KSI versus Fournier. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always changing my mind on how good Fournier is. I've seen some clips where he looks like trash, but he's still like from the press conferences, I guess, and the way they're presenting him, and he's 9-0. He's no
Yeah,
joke.
exactly.
So I don't know how to judge him. That is my
Exactly.
problem with
I've
this
had the
fight.
same problem because in January everybody was like, "Oh, the replacement should have been Joe. He's great." And now he does this.
Yeah,
Well, he does some slightly dumb things like he's speeding up his footage, and
yeah.
is his record. He hasn't fought great people, but then he's also 9-0, and he has trained traditionally. He has a WBA belt. So just like you, even every day is like a seesaw. I'm like, is he a good opponent?
Yeah.
Is he not? But
Back
yeah,
then he was compared to Tyron Woodley and that level,
exactly. Yeah.
Nate Diaz. But now people take him more lightly. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Where do you think he stands compared to Jake's opponents? Is he Woodley level or not as much?
I would say yeah, Woodley level, not Anderson Silva probably,
Yeah.
and of course not Tommy.
No, not Tommy, no. Tommy
Tommy
is
is good.
he's
I'm scared for KSI when he goes in against Tommy because he wants to do it. I don't.
yep.
I think it will be the toughest fight for him. Like
I
after
think
Jake,
mhm.
after everything.
Yeah, I think Tommy is the toughest fight on the scene. Like nobody is as good as Tommy yet. So uh, every
Yep.
time KSI says he's going to beat Tommy, I'm like, I wouldn't be so sure. Like he's a pretty tough opponent. He might have to bite his words, but hey. But we have another. Let's talk. We're talking about Jake and KSI. Might as well talk about Jake's next fight coming, the Nate Diaz match. Do you see it as him going back to old retired MMA guys, or would you say Nate is still a legitimate, an actually tough opponent that's going to test Jake?
So what I feel about this fight is like, of course, it's a step down after Tommy,
Mm-hmm.
and but I think it's necessary for him to step down because it's not his level yet with like the people of level with Tommy, and still it's kind of getting boring now. He had
Yeah,
Woodley 2 times.
twice.
He
Yeah.
had Anderson Silva,
Mm-hmm.
Nate Diaz. Now all of this UFC stuff, it gets a bit boring and repetitive.
That is true.
He should come back to YouTube boxing, like fight KSI.
Yeah, like make the KSI fight happen.
Yeah.
Like, would you? But here's something I'm hearing people saying that is ducking KSI by fighting Nate. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I'm sure he wants to get maybe they're worrying about like the build up, but
Mm-hmm.
if you look at it that way, like there's been years of build up
Yeah,
right now. It
exactly.
wouldn't take a long time to build it up,
Yep.
right? So I don't know. It's tough to tell.
Yeah, but like I feel like if KSI even fought Jake tomorrow, that would be the most pay-per-view any of them have done. Cause
Yeah,
this beef has been there since like what 5 years now, technically speaking, since
yeah,
2018 when he called him out. So yeah, that fight just needs to happen. Like enough of the we've had enough breadsticks. We need the dinner. We need the main fight to happen.
yeah, man. I hope it happens this year. I hope.
Yeah, this year, you know what? If Nate does pull out, KSI has said on Twitter that he is down to be the replacement. So if they agree to the weight, we could be seeing it in America,
Hopefully.
but still, hopefully, yep, could see it. Now, speaking of American events, we have another thing which has been confirmed but no definite date. We have the rematch everybody's been wanting: Walid versus Dean. That's a big
Yeah.
rematch.
Uh,
Oh, let's say before you even talk about it, just say who are you? Are you Team Dean or Team Wallet for the rematch?
I've always, well, like since the first, I think Misfits one
Hmm.
conference, I didn't like Dean's character.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's like promoting a fight or something, but I was always like against him, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
makes
Team
sense.
Waleed for this one.
Yeah.
Who are you supporting?
Well, I am Team Dean, but I get that he's a bit of a villain. I kind of like that because then it just makes more people feel strong emotion
Yep,
and they want to watch the fight. But it does get a bit too much sometimes, the whole, oh, your sister is mine and all that. But
yeah,
I'm Team Dean, but I very much thought Wilder deserves a rematch and he can win this. He can win
yeah. I
this.
for sure.
Like, I'm just saying, what if they make it a trilogy? That would be pretty cool, huh? Like, if the loss is not so, it's a close loss, right, by Dean. They could make this a trilogy. Like, Keemstar would make a
Yeah, it
lot of
makes sense.
money.
Makes
Keemstar,
sense, man.
yeah. Like Keemstar, Misfits, everybody would make a lot of money. So I'm pretty sure they like the idea. But a trilogy, and that would be the first ever trilogy in YouTube boxing,
Yeah, man.
which is cool to think about. Now, coming down to your main goal in mind, you'd like to fight on Misfits Berlin. So, from right now, approximately how many days do you have to achieve this?
I think it's like 80 something.
Okay, so that's.
So I have like
Mhm.
a completely I wanted to go like 100% on like small creators, you know, Twitter's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole Twitter community, the whole small creators on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
now I feel like I have to move on from this because if you like imagine you're Mams Taylor. If
Mhm.
you look at me, what do I offer?
Yeah.
Everybody who watches YouTube boxing already watches me, so there are no new eyes to this. Maybe like as a prelim to give someone a
Yeah,
chance.
I
I
think
don't know
you
if it makes sense,
like. Mhm.
like business wise, you know. So I have to branch out again, like what I started with, I think, and to build something special, you know.
Uh-huh. That makes sense. I think yeah, if you did that, maybe you'd bring a few more eyes. And I think you should be on like a prelim show at least. Like on the Misfits over 7 prelims, right? They have this Twitter guy, his name is Korn. Now Korn is big, but he's fighting this other guy who has like 400 Twitter followers. So I think you have a like I'm not trying to no shade to him. I'm just saying you have a pretty good chance of being on the
I'm there.
prelim.
I'm there.
Yeah, I definitely say that, and especially since you are in Germany, you're like the home crowd. That would make it even better. No, I think Kim, Fuzi, all of them, and Happy Punch would be down for that.
I legit like. I wonder how many German influencers, like big influencers, maybe who have fought before, are going to be in that card. Because I think it will be a main thing, like to introduce new people from
True. Yeah.
all around the world. You know, really wonder how they're going to do it. What I would like to see is like make a, I don't know, Misfits versus Germany card,
Ooh, that would be
full card.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah. What did you say? What did you think is like an ideal main event for the Germany card?
Now I wouldn't say it like I wouldn't say put a German YouTuber for a
Hmm.
main event. I think Mis Misfits their crowd probably won't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe who hasn't fought in a long time now? Logan, but I think he will be
Logan.
in
Yeah.
the USA card. I think it
True.
will be like this. So the Berlin card, kind of like the what was it, New Orleans, so a
Yeah. New
bit
Orleans.
toned down, you know, not a
Yeah.
pay-per-view kind of stuff. So maybe someone like Slim or I don't
Slim.
know these
Mhm.
kind of people.
Yeah, Slim has not fought in a long time, and he's always said he wants the main event. He got three co-mains. He'd like the main event, so it might be Slim. That
Yeah, I
is very
also
true.
heard that Slim will fight the winner of Salt Papi against Anthony Taylor in
Yeah,
July, so probably in Berlin.
could be in Berlin. Berlin is which number? It's 0 or 9, right? I think.
Yes, sir. And also like I don't know how to say this, but they told like in the Twitter space they're going to move some dates around. I
Oh,
really hope that they will put the Berlin one later, so I
yeah,
have more time, man.
yeah. That would be good. And they've done this a little bit, I think, with the 005, right? They moved it and they changed venues. But no, I think it'll
Yep.
they could move the Berlin one. Let's just say they don't have enough fighters or something. You could
Of course, they have
yeah.
like the what was the? I think Tampa Bay for
Mhm.
the Gene and
Yeah, Tampa and Florida. Yep.
Elite rematch. They will
Yep.
probably put it somewhere in between, like Berlin or something, because these are all summer cards.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They could do
Could be
the.
moved.
They could sneak in the Florida Tampa card in between. That is very true. So now let's get a little bit back to Misfits. Now you saw at Misfits 06, a certain Chase Demore did some pretty a pretty embarrassing thing in the ring. What did you think of that whole fiasco?
Oh, look! I have this cap here. He
My
thought
God.
he thought he was in the UFC, man. Like,
Yep,
what was he
he sure
doing?
did.
Ma- I understand like being maybe nervous or losing your head in the fight, but that was I feel like that was intentional. Like he wanted to prove
Yep.
someone.
That's what, like, and it was pretty dangerous too. And the worst part was after that, like, he got back up and then he did the Adesanya celebration. That's when it just
Yeah, that
became too
was too
much.
much.
Like,
And I
mhm.
don't know I don't know how like if I can say this, but I think like people like this should get banned. Like
Actually, yeah.
misusing this whole thing.
It was like it was very much intentional and it is very much a legal DQ. So, honestly
Yeah,
speaking, he should be banned. Like I feel little bit bad for it because he was going to like maybe redeem himself a little bit, even though he was not
yeah,
fighting very well. He was going to win, and he did promote the fight well. So I was like, okay, good, someone is promoting. And then he did that. I was like, he doesn't really deserve this stage for some time.
yeah.
No.
He was doing good,
Hmm.
like fight wise as well, but then
Yep.
this happened.
That was maybe he just maybe he's watching too much UFC. He went into boxing and did that. So that was a bit of an L. Yeah. Now, if let's say you don't get to fight one of the bigger creators, and let's say on you're still on Misfits, but you get someone from SCB or small creators, you have anybody in mind? You want to not call out? Let's say a few names. Everything would be ideal.
Uh, I don't know who my weight is. Like I'm 155 right now, so
Oh,
70 kg.
mm-hmm. And how tall are you,
Who's in that
approx?
weight? I think it's like Tolpser in
Torpster,
my weight.
huh? He has been a bit active, calling out some people of late. Yes, yes, that is there.
But I legit like can't think of anybody right now with my weight.
Okay.
Who is there?
I have like if I think about it, the first name that comes to mind, they're all like not her weight, like oh, Dennis Bell. But Dennis Bell is a very big guy. You can't really
Yeah,
fight
he's
him.
too
Then
big,
you
I think.
have the small creator boxing 002 card. Everybody on there is either heavyweight or they're like very light, like 135. So,
Yeah,
but Topster is good because Topster has a little bit of like actual following also. So
yeah.
that on Happy Punch prelims, they might be interested in that. That is very true. How tall are you, approximately?
I'm uh, I don't know what it is in inches or feet or
Hmm.
whatever. It's
Centimeter?
173 centimeters.
73. That's approx 5'8", 5'9", 5'9", I think. Yeah. So yeah,
So the height
Topster.
of a Tolpser, I think it would make sense, right?
Yeah, it is a very ideal matchup. Like Kim should make this happen. Topster versus Aslan. That's a good fight. I
Or
would
who? What weight is most wanted?
most wanted. Well, actually, I have no idea. But looking at him next to people like Fox the G, he looks smaller than them. So I'm guessing maybe 140, 145 ish. I have no idea. I should
Hey,
we
that
need to
would
check
also
his
be a good
fights.
one.
Yeah, most wanted, and told sure if they want the smoke, we got you ready here for the Berlin card. But nah, that seems like a pretty
Or
ideal opponent.
Alex Wasabi.
Wasabi, I forgot about that. Wasabi. He's a bit higher in weight, but I think he can come down a bit more. Yo, if Wasabi wants a challenge, you could.
Imagine if that actually happens, man.
Now
Like,
that'll be, it'll be like the Nick versus Swingler. Like people didn't really know Nick. They kind of like they didn't know him. They're like, oh, he's fighting a bum. But then fight
but
night comes, hmm
but
and
like Nick, I think he had millions of followers. For me, there's like
that
no
is true.
chance, man.
Yeah, but I think in YouTube boxing, you both are like nobody really knows him. But then fight night and came and he proved everybody wrong. put on a great show. Like,
Yeah, I want to see him back too, actually.
yeah, I think like where did he fight? Oh, 5, right? That was what, like April. So he might be on the, let's say maybe the Berlin card or the Nashville card, probably.
Give him Slim.
Even Slim. Yep. Long time since you saw both of them. I think Slim versus Nick would be a good fight
Yep.
because they both are at 160. They both won that at 165. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
let's say suppose you don't get a direct fight. Let's say you get something a bit different like tag team or like last minute replacement. Are you still down to do that?
Of course, any way possible, I'm
Fair, yeah.
down.
Who would you say is like your dream tag team, let's say, partner? If you got to be in like tag team.
Anybody?
Any,
Anybody?
yep, at this point, anybody. 155, who fights there? Like, OJ Rose fights around that much. No, he's a little bit
Oh,
heavier, but I think
who's who's from the biggest influencers? 155.
155, the biggest influencers. Jay Swingler, no, he's like 166. Nick is like 158, his last fight. He
Yeah.
was. Um, Kimbo Slice fought, no, but he's not the big, very big. Uh, not
There,
many,
I'm noticing right now there are not that many people, right,
yeah,
in
not
that
that
weight
many people at
category.
155. Like, 155, do you like, is that your working weight? You're comfortable at 155? You can stay at that, like, no problem?
Like this is my normal weight,
Normal weight,
155.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
then I guess, 150, it's not very stacked, but like if somebody like came down, let's say, from 160-ish, or if you fought someone a little bit bigger, you probably have a good chance. Like 150, if you're speaking 150, like the championship weight is 154, you know?
Yep.
So somebody till 160 can fight. You can fight them. It would be a
You know what?
legal bout.
My dream partner is Swarms.
Swarms. Oh shit. Now that would be a fun fight. The one punch man, the goat of YouTube boxing. Swarms. Yep.
Yes, sir.
And you're the same height. I guess he can come down a little bit, but not a 155. He's
Yeah, I will
fighting.
come up too. I'll come up too for him.
Yeah, no problem. No, he's fighting Deji at 175. So he's coming down some more. But he's a bulky
Oh,
guy. Like,
175.
yep. Last time he fought at 185. Now he's coming to 175.
Okay, man.
Yeah, he's had a pretty sick, like, this one, transformation since that last fight.
Yeah,
He came looking like a very fat 200-pound guy last time. But this time,
yeah.
he looks really shredded. Now,
This
when.
whole
Mhm.
story was this whole story like
Yeah.
reminds me a bit of Uzi fight. Everybody was saying, "Oh, he's like ripped
Oh,
now.
yeah,
He
yeah.
made a transformation." So
That's true.
maybe like we haven't seen a lot from Swarms. There was one punch.
One punch, yeah, one jab, and it ended
Yeah,
there. Yeah, like Fuzi, but then I think like we kind of knew from the Slim fight that he's not really, let's say, naturally a
yeah,
boxer, so he is a bit stiff. But his transformation is crazy. Some people say he was
yeah.
on that secret juice. Maybe he was. I don't know.
You
Maybe
never know, man.
because he looked like a proper like athlete. He was crazy shredded, but like he did say in a Twitter space that he has no plans to come back, which is a bit sad.
Yeah,
But I understand it. He really got hurt in that ring, broke his nose 2 times. Both times
yep,
he broke his nose. So I was like, yeah, fair enough. Now, off late, you might have noticed a trend of big fighters not promoting enough. They're just like, they think they're like normal boxers, man. Like, they don't upload anymore. What do you think about that?
look, look at me. Like I'm not a full-time content creator. I have my school. I have a
Mm-hmm.
job on the side,
Yep.
but I managed to do diss tracks. I managed to do promotional videos. So what's the matter? I'm also training
Exactly.
boxing.
So
So
they,
I don't get it. They're getting paid. They why don't you want to see more? Why don't you want to see like more people enjoy your fight or be interested?
exactly, like, if you get enough people in this fight, you could be paid more for your next fight. And they don't even do anything else. It's just YouTube and boxing. Like,
The
surely
thing is like
there's.
a lot of them,
Mhm.
a lot of them do this, like, for example, JMX. He was a big YouTuber back then. There are also other examples I can't think of right now, but they were big YouTubers. But now, because of the boxing, they just stopped completely.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
JMX's channel has been dead for a long time. Like nothing.
Yeah,
Like I get he used to do some slightly not safe for work content, but still, like you could at least do boxing content. He stopped that as
yeah,
well. So I believe if for like the OS6 card, right, it didn't sell as well as the others. If they did promote it some more, it could have like gotten more views and stuff. Cause JMX and
for
Levion,
sure.
the main event did like zero promotion.
Yeah, that's true.
Now let's enough of misfits. Let's slowly move our sights to the other promotions. As you may have noticed, there's a tournament going on, the Kingpin tournament.
Mhm.
Let's start off fun. What are your predictions? Who do you think
Uh,
is the best man out
Going
of
to
the
it,
eight? Hmm?
I think
Mm-hmm.
the final will be Winderson versus Gibb, but then
Okay.
I don't know who will win. Like, I legit don't know.
They're like a lot of people are underestimating Winterson Nunes because he fought like a really good boxer, right? In that one match he had, and he seems really
Yep.
fast and stuff. So, but yeah, Winterson versus Gibb, it's a bit confusing. Who's gonna win? So,
So this will be one of the biggest fights like in YouTube boxing history. Like one of to remember, final of tournament first time.
yeah, we never had a tournament before. Like, what? How do you think Gibb versus Jarvis will go?
Jarvis has improved. Like you can see the influence of like the Mayweather gym,
Mm-hmm.
his style, like somehow sometimes using Philly shell or good
Yeah.
defense, also good combinations. But I feel like Gibb like this is Jarvis's second fight. Gibb has been there so many times,
Yep. He has
and I
experience.
think like he knows the little details that Jarvis might not know, and he will probably get him somehow. I don't know why or how, but he will get him. That's like how I feel like, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I feel like Jarvis is going to come out. Me personally, I think Jarvis is going to come out going forward, trying to pressure Gibb, without realizing Gibb is the pressure fighter. So let's say maybe Jarvis might change tactics. He might be the number two, but I feel like Gibb will outlast him because Gibb's cardio, his gas tank is
Yo,
infinite.
yeah, man.
Like
His cardio is amazing.
we need to test him in a lab. How does he have so much cardio? He goes non-stop. Like he can go 12 rounds, I think, no problem. Like
That
the
is like I feel like okay, Jarvis's defense is good, but like did Tom really pressure it that much? If
hmm
Gibb comes around, what will he do? Like what? How will he react? That's like the main question,
exactly that
probably.
is the big problem for Jarvis. That's what he needs to go with. Okay, so now like, do you think these tournaments are a good idea? Because here's why I ask. Like, because the one thing with this tournament is obviously it's a great idea for the scene overall that we're no, it's more competitive. But then there's also the fact that Kingpin has got like pre-made fighters. These guys were built up in other promotions, and now they spent a lot of money on these guys. You know, so there's the factor of do you think this has enough longevity in the scene?
I think like it really depends on how it will go on from here, like semifinals, finals, how they will perform.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking at it, like it is such a big investment, and I still feel like okay, they all have big followings, but the whole YouTube boxing scene is like a bit too small to
True,
host like big events like this.
that is
Maybe
true.
in a couple of years it will make like sense to do it all the time. Maybe they can get like the biggest names. Like I actually thought of it once. Like, what if they do like the biggest tournament ever? Like, get Salt Papi, KSI, Jake,
Oh my god.
Winderson,
Yeah, that
people
would
like
be
this.
yeah, massive. That would send
Every fight would be
so much.
mm, like wants to remember,
Yeah, that is
But it
true.
has to be built up, and they have to experiment. I think people like Winderson bring the ice. Maybe like I also like my mate Nate,
Mm-hmm.
the whole Thailand
Yeah, the
community. I feel
Thailand
like it wants
exactly. That is
My
very true.
stream, like the whole chat was like Thailand people. I didn't understand them, but still,
Yeah, so
like I
that's
think
mhm. No, yeah, you can continue.
okay, I think like if it makes sense, but it just depends on how it will go from here. They
That is
all have
true.
it in their hands. It's a good idea.
Yeah. That's one thing I noticed is that both Misfits and Kingpin are like bringing other people on from other countries. Like on the 007, we have this Spanish YouTuber. His name is Virus fighting DK Money. Or like although we don't know this guy and DK Money is not like a very high stock fighter, just saying those other eyes will benefit the scene. Like it'll be good for us if they also start
Yeah, man,
watching.
for sure.
Hmm.
International, they have to make it like one big thing, not like UK boxing, US boxing. Like
Yeah,
UK and
that's
US are one thing now, but there are so many big roles. Like for example, with Wunderson.
yeah, that is true. The UK versus USA thing is getting a bit boring as well. Like we have
Yes,
seen
man.
it a few times. Now let's say what did you say on a slightly different note is the most like boring, non-memorable fight we have had in the scene so far. That was like a snooze fest.
Halal Ham versus Ginty.
Oh, I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
Like that fight, what was that? Like how many punches were thrown?
I have
Like
no
how many
idea.
landed?
Not like
But there was a knockdown, right?
yeah, but it was like they were in the corner and clinching, and like Halal Ham kind of slipped. It
Yeah,
was it
man.
was uh, it was it was a pretty rough match. Like I remember,
Yeah, man.
I didn't watch it live, but then I was like in the KSI Twitter community, right? They were all kind of hyped. Like okay, the starting fight was fun. I was like, okay, this event is going well for Misfits. And then
Mhm.
during the match, Mam's trailer goes, effing throw something, throw punches. And I was like, whoa, they made Mam's Taylor angry. Like, oh, I feel like one major reason was the difference in reach. Cause like Ginty is
Yeah, man.
very tall. He's like 6'3" and Halal Ham is like 5'6". So that was a big problem. And I don't know, I feel like the build up was okay. Halal Ham was doing his bit. He was making fun of the OnlyFans. Ginty not as much, but so I kid you not, I heard people saying this is going to be fight of the night before the event. That was a bit stupid. Now let's say, speaking of let's say where you are right now, what do your let's say your family and friends feel about you starting boxing and this whole endeavor of trying to reach Misfits? Do they have any let's say thoughts on it?
So everybody's supporting me
Okay,
for real.
that's good to hear. Yeah, that's
But like they don't say it like, okay, you're gonna make it even if you have 100 like over like how many like I have 600 subs right now. It's
mhm.
like close to impossible.
Yeah.
And they keep it real with me. They say to me like, build an audience, do this, do that, but they always support me. Like I'm like very happy for this
Yeah,
because
that's
I feel like some people probably do YouTube or boxing and people like friends around them or family don't like this, but
yeah.
that helps for real. Like you can be free and do whatever you want.
Yeah, that is good to hear. Obviously, yeah, you need to build an audience, but you have like your videos are doing decent compared to like your subscriber count. So the algorithm is definitely pushing. Like I noticed you're getting like 1K views on some videos. So like that's like more than your subscriber count. So definitely the algorithm is working with you. So yeah, and hopefully you'll be able to do this full time.
Thank you, man.
Now let's just say like don't I'm not trying to be anything, just worst case scenario, suppose you don't get to fight in Misfits, let's say you itself get injured or something, what do you think would be like some ways for you to still get some spotlight from the event? No.
Look, I think I probably think like I'm being realistic.
Mm-hmm.
One way I will get to Berlin is probably if someone pulls out. That is,
Yeah,
I think, like what will happen.
that is very true. Mm-hmm.
But it is like I'm pushing this whole like gimmick or of trying to make it to Mrs. Berlin, like from
Uh-huh.
Germany and stuff. But this is like I would say maybe like a 5% chance that I will
Mm-hmm.
make it. I'm being honest,
Yeah.
and it only goes way up like if I start building my numbers. But I'm not angry if I don't make it. It was like
Yeah.
such a short time.
What I meant is,
But then
which. No, you keep going, yeah.
now you can
Yeah, I was
ask your
saying, like,
question.
I'm just saying, say, suppose you don't get right. Would you be interested in doing things like, how like Fred Talks interviews people at the event, or like,
Yeah.
SCB, smaller people like that get to be interviewers at press conferences. Would you be interested in that? Because that's also bringing spotlight from Misfits to you.
Yeah, I think like there will be not everybody there from like the usual community in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably like in the UK or US or
Yeah, that
whatever.
is true.
So I will be probably the guy to get all the
Yep.
interviews.
Unless Fred gets somebody pays Fred that ticket, it will probably be like German creators. You are right about that.
And
So
I think like if I don't make it, I'm not angry. Like
yeah,
who am I?
so and
Like
you have nothing to lose
you
if
know
you don't make it.
I can focus then, like after this whole pressure is gone, I can like really focus, start to build an audience outside of YouTube boxing. And then
Exactly.
maybe like I'm talking about 2 years, 3 years down the line, that is the way like I can make it clean without any gimmick or just
Mm-hmm.
like as a
As
content
a
creator,
creator,
you know?
yeah, that is
Yeah.
a good way to think of it. Yeah, like if you don't get it, no problem. You have gained some audience now. Just build that. Focus on yourself. That is a good way to see it. So I am done with. I have to ask you. I've had a lot of fun doing this interview. I hope you did as well, and it was fun
Thank you,
having
man.
you,
Like
man.
I have fun, a lot of fun, man. Good questions and good topics.
Thanks. This is
Thank you,
my
man. You
first
should do this
interview.
more
Yeah, wish I will try to do this more. Maybe we should even collab sometime.
for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for having, thanks for being on here. I appreciate it. And thank you to the viewers as well for watching. See you guys in a bit. See you as well, man.
Everybody here, leave a like, subscribe. You know
Yep.
what to do.
And definitely check out Aslan's pages or both of our social media, everything. And one thing, if one day they ask again, like they did this time, who should fight? Like, bro, on the prelims, dude, everybody should spam your name because I think it will be like a great story as well if you do get on.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
See you, man.